It is the star of the show, straight from the silver screen, the cinema sickness, the Hollywood horror, Lexi Gomez. And you're listening to OTS Project.
And so we're sitting there, right? We're sitting there, and I don't even know why I'm telling you this story because you were there. But you said, "Don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. It's Pride Month." That man did not care. That man did not care at all.
Homophobic
Not
as
at all.
fuck.
Straight killed you, bro. But somehow you're still here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OTS Project, episode 26. Theo, you are alive and kicking, contrary to what Mr. Ghostface would like to believe.
Yeah.
How are you doing, my boy?
Besides almost getting murdered by Mr. Ghostface, I'm doing pretty well, I'd say. I've been watching all of Ironheart. I finally caught up to it. I finally started watching it. I have been enjoying it a lot. I'm not saying it's like a top project or anything like that, but it's pretty. I'd give it like a solid like B. I'd say it's a pretty good show.
We'll dive in more.
We'll dive into it more a little bit, but yeah.
Right. All right, bet. That's all you got going on.
Pretty much. Oh, my company had yesterday a 4th of July barbecue, so everybody was kind of bringing food and stuff like that. I made my good old fashioned banana pudding, which was a hit. I was almost concerned that I was gonna catch someone licking the tray clean, but gladly not. That would have been a bit odd, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I have for the listeners and viewers, I have had the banana pudding. It is pretty effing good. It is pretty effing good. By the way, when you and your sister come over tomorrow, as long as it's still good, I have banana bread crumb cake that we can enjoy. So there you go. But yeah, on my end, nothing much. You and your sister are supposed to be coming over tomorrow to finish our videos, really, because this is going to be a video that's going to be on my YouTube channel. So we're going to finish our Rachel watches the Star Wars movies for the first time, or at least we're going to finish the main line, the Skywalker saga, with the sequel. So that's what's going on. Other than that, throughout the week, nothing much. Nothing too crazy that I could think of. I feel like I was watching something, but I don't remember. Other than Ironheart, obviously I have finished Ironheart. So yeah, nothing too big for me. But we do have a lot of news. We got a lot of news. We got a lot of discussion to dive in here. So I will say something that I did do. My cousin, not on the Schneider side here, on the Rodriguez Hirschfield side, on my mother's side, my cousin Logan came over. I have not seen him in a minute. He's been away at school, but he's been home for the summer. But he obviously is, he's got friends and his girlfriend, so he's been busy. So I have not seen him. So he came over the other night. We watched Man of Steel because I told him, hey, I kind of have to watch this movie, so I'll watch it together. So we watched Man of Steel. And then we watched Cheaper by the Dozen because I absolutely love that movie. I've seen that movie a million times. It's literally
what a great back-to-back movie.
Right, it very random. But what I didn't say is we spent like an hour in itself just going between apps trying to find another movie to watch.
Right.
Because I obviously wanted to show him a movie he hadn't seen, but he had already seen a ton. So Cheaper by the Dozen was a movie he hadn't seen because he wasn't even born yet when it came out. But that is genuinely the first one. I like the second one, but the first one genuinely is like one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. I will never get tired of that movie. I literally watched it like 2 months ago and then just watched it again a couple nights ago. It's such a good movie. So yeah, we did that. That's the thing that stands out. We watched Man of Steel. We watched Cheaper by the Dozen, and just kind of hung out. But yeah, so news. Big one that I saw yesterday. AJ Styles has apparently given word to WWE that he wants to he has a contract extension for a year. So that kind of signifies that he's not looking to sign another contract. He just wants to extend this one by a year, and then that's it. So looks like we got about a year left with AJ Styles. This one hits home for me because AJ Styles is my number one guy. So yeah, I'm losing two of my childhood heroes pretty much back to back here, man. I'm losing John Cena at the end of this year. And then I'm going to have one more year with AJ, and then I'm losing, TNA's John Cena of my childhood, at least, for in the next year. So that's very sad to me. But obviously I knew it was coming. He's been saying, I think he said by a certain age he wants to be retired. So I'm not surprised by it. I just was more surprised by the fact that, I saw it. I was like, oh, shit, it's time. It's time. So yeah, it looks like AJ. We got about a year left with the phenomenal one, and then he's heading out. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
No, I mean, I think everybody kind of knew that it was going to end at some point, especially like sooner rather than later. Just because, again, he has like voiced this kind of opinions. But I mean, like, I feel like he's had a very good career, like far better than I would say most other superstars at this point, with just how like his lineage through TNA and all this stuff and all the stuff he's done in WWE and whatnot. So I and especially if he gets to go out on his own terms, I'm like that's like really where the goalposts are, is to have an amazing career and end it how and when you would like to end it. So it's good to see that he is at least planning on getting that.
Right. And I have already seen people clowning and saying, you know, because his current booking isn't great, so I've already seen people clowning that AJ's last match is going to be some random 6-man tag match on Raw. Triple H ain't going to do him like that, bro. His booking may not be great here, but if Triple H knows that it's going to be the end, I'm sure he's going to give him a nice, you know, I'm not saying he's going to have a John Cena run here, but he's going to have a nice final year facing the people he wants to wrestle, facing people that have history with. Hopefully in his last year, if he plans on retiring, hopefully he does get to maybe kind of branch out a little bit, do some other stuff, do some He definitely has to go to TNA at some point.
Yeah, he has to go back
show
to
up
TNA at least once
at some point,
sure.
Right? So yeah, we'll move on for that, because I can go on for hours. But I'm a little sad, but it's all good. But Julia, we got a new women's U.S. champion, Julia. I am super excited about this. This has been an interesting topic. I've seen a lot of people with some Julia slander on X. I will not stand for it. Julia is one of my favorites right now, so I will not stand for it. I will fight for Julia till the end. But I saw this coming a mile away. I think everybody saw it coming a mile away. I don't want to say anything bad about Zelina Vega or anything like that, but when she won the title, it was definitely a surprise, and it was definitely interesting. And then I think from the jump, a lot of people kind of assumed it wasn't going to be a very long title run, and then Julia came to SmackDown, and they had that first interaction, and everybody kind of went, "Oh, well, that's Raps," and it was Raps when they finally got in the ring. Zelina Vega dropped the title, so yeah, I'm just super happy for Julia, because she's, like I said, is one of my favorites right now. So I'm super happy she's the new Women's United States Champion, and this is literally just the beginning for her. So that's really cool.
Yeah, pretty good start for her entire career. I mean, she's been pretty dominant for the past year or two or so. Even just inside WWE, but also outside WWE and stuff like that. She's also just been an incredible competitor just everywhere she goes.
I mean, yeah, she was literally the top chick in Japan for years.
Years, yeah.
Io left Japan, and then Julia kind of filled the void that Io had as the top women's wrestler in Japan. So,
right.
But yeah, the Batman 2 script has officially been delivered. It is finished, or at least this version. Hopefully, this is the final version. But yeah, the Batman 2 script has been finished with Matt Reeves. Man, he is ultimate aura farmer, bro. Everything he posts is so fire. I don't know if you saw the photo. I think I sent it to you. They didn't just go, "Hey, it's done." They posted this cool ass black and white photo of him and his writer sitting on the couch, but on the coffee table is the script with the Batman logo on it. I was like, that is so cool. So I again am super excited, because the Batman is one of my favorites. Definitely is my favorite Batman movie. So hopefully they're cooking.
It's about time they got the script done, to be honest with you.
Yes.
We've been waiting for this for years now.
Now so James Gunn has the
opportunity
to do the funniest thing and tell him he needs to go write a third draft of this script.
You gotta write a third draft.
Hopefully
to
that's
make
not
it
the
fit
case.
in my universe, in my new
right.
DC
Hopefully
universe.
Hopefully it's not the case. Hopefully this is the final draft, and we can, hopefully, but by the end of this year or early next year, they can kind of start rolling those cameras. Right. So yeah. Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble have been announced for, I believe, this year. Survivor Series will be in San Diego at the baseball stadium that the Giants, I believe, are always at. And the Royal Rumble, this is an interesting one. The Royal Rumble will be in Saudi Arabia this year. So you good over there? You look like you're a little lost. You good?
I was looking up something because I have the dates. I was just the Giants play in San Diego. I thought that was the Padres.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sometimes I get mixed up. There's a lot of teams in the MLB.
There's a lot of teams.
Yes,
yeah.
The Padres are in that stadium. But yeah, so Survivor Series in the Padres Stadium and Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia this year. That one is a definite hot topic. People don't like these shows in general, so now putting everybody's favorite show of the year in Saudi Arabia is definitely interesting. I've seen plenty of jokes. I'm sure you've probably seen a couple of people joking about the women's rumble and how the women's rumble is just going to be 30 bodysuits. It's going to be a lot of
it's gonna be 30 Power Rangers in a ring.
Yeah, 30 latex bodysuits all trying to throw each other out.
Right.
So yeah, that's what are the dates for that or for them or whatever?
Survivor Series is gonna be on November 29th of this year.
Okay.
And then there's not an official date for the Royal Rumble. It's just gonna be at some point in January.
All right, bet. So yeah, we will be watching. We'll be paying attention. Hopefully the Rumble goes smoothly. No issues or anything like that. So yeah, I have here. You're probably confused because I have here in the next piece of news just a Spider-Man cinematographer.
Yeah, I don't know
like, what
this even is. Is he doing movies now? I don't know what's going on over here.
So the cinematographer for Spider-Man Brand New Day has been like announced or whatever, but that's not the news. The news is that this man went on his Pinterest and made a public Pinterest board that said like Brand New Day ideas, and then just started like pinning a bunch of like art and shit. So essentially, in a way, you could say it's kind of not. I don't want to say spoiling the movie, but it's giving away a bit of what the idea is for what the movie is going to be. It looks dark, man. It looks very gritty. Everything he was pinning was very, very depressing. There was like one pin of just a guy, which I would assume in his mind was Peter, just on like a bus by himself, just with his head down. Very like cloudy, gray, overcast, rainy, dark city kind of vibes. I'm here for it. It looked like the Batman, but if it was Spider-Man, kind of So I'm here for it.
I mean, with everything that Peter's gone through in the MCU, I think it makes sense that he's gone through like this bit of a darker turn and whatnot. I'm definitely more excited to see like who the villains are going to be for this one because I think they can definitely pull off some great villains for it. But
for sure,
I mean, Spider-Man's always got to go to villains, so it's whatever.
And I don't know if it's not in here, and I don't know if we talked about it, but Punisher has been confirmed for that movie as well. John Bernthal has been confirmed to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Are they gonna fight the Hulk? Isn't that what it's gonna?
That's what I saw. I was just about to say. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I'm assuming, or it's been rumored that Mark Ruffalo and as Bruce Banner / Hulk is supposed to also be in the movie. So yeah, I don't know. I just know that the Punisher stuff is confirmed because I saw like Variety and Hollywood Reporter reporting on it. The Bruce Banner stuff I haven't seen, like other than like Daniel, like random accounts talk about. But that would make sense, and it definitely intrigues me. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I'm very excited to see where this movie is gonna go because it's almost like they evenly have such a clean slate and not a clean slate at all to do whatever they want. Like they could do whatever they want, but they still have the weight of things that they have to worry about. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
With this one. Yeah.
But it being darker and very depressing, at least for a bit of the movie, I'm not sure if the whole movie is going to be like that, but for a bit of the movie, it being like that. Okay, so yeah, I like how at least I don't know if it's going to be the whole movie, but at least a part of the movie is going to be very dark and kind of depressing. I would imagine as he progresses through the movie, he maybe his spirit's going to lighten up a little bit or whatnot. But having Punisher in the movie. Definitely is going to be cool, and it definitely goes towards the depressing. He's a very dark character, so I wouldn't expect Peter Parker to be all happy, sunshine, smile, swinging around, and Punisher's just like, no, I killed him. So
yeah, exactly.
So so Punisher being in like a dark Spider-Man movie makes sense.
I don't know if you've seen like I'm more than sure you have like the comic panels of like Spider-Man and Moon Knight interacting with each other.
Yes,
I need this to be a thing in the MCU because I think that'd be hysterical. I
would love it. That is I have them saved on my phone, a couple of just like him just being a total dick to Spider-Man and Spider-Man just like it's just so good. Moon Knight in general, bro. I have one that was like my wallpaper for a long time of him walking downstairs just being like Dracula, you son of a bitch, where's my money? And it's just like the funniest shit.
I need to show you. I don't know if I've sent it to you or not, but there's a screenshot from a Howard the Duck comic book.
Okay.
Where the very last frame of it is Aunt May holding a gun, and Howard the Duck just says, "She's got a gun."
Hell yeah! Shout out Kevin Nash.
Dude, so it's so fucking
kind of all we got on that Spider-Man thing, but I did think it was interesting that he kind of, in a way, revealed a little bit of what the movie might be about. But I don't think he did it intentionally. I think he forgot to private his Pinterest board there.
Right.
So, New show though that has, I think it's been announced for a while, but they dropped a trailer. I don't know if you saw the trailer. It's like 30 seconds long.
I see the trailer every single time I have to watch a new Ironheart episode, so I've seen the trailer 6 times now.
All right. I think when I was watching Ironheart, it the trailer wasn't out, so I didn't see it.
Right.
But yeah, Eyes of Wakanda is dropping August 27th on Disney Plus. They dropped a trailer. It was only like 30 seconds long. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't say I'm excited or not excited because I don't know what the hell is happening.
Right.
I don't. That
It's
trailer
a lot of weird shit.
gives you nothing, but it has a very weird vibe to it. But it doesn't look like. I think there's a shot of the Dora Milaje in the beginning, if I'm correct. You've seen it more than me, so.
Yeah. There is.
So there's a shot of the Dora Milaje in the beginning. Other than that, there's no characters. At least from what I can tell, there's no characters that we know. There's no T'Challa, no Shuri, no Queen, no Nakia, no M'Baku, and even the Dora Milaje, I'm assuming is probably not Okoye. It's probably like other Dora Milaje. So it doesn't look like a Black Panther show or a Black Panther. It looks like maybe just different characters we don't know yet.
It
from
kind of
Wakanda.
seems almost like a Wakanda origin story, like a origin story of like the nation and everything like that.
Right.
And all the tribes and whatnot that are going on there.
Right. I don't know how many episodes it is or what. It would be kind of cool if it was almost like an Andor situation where each episode takes place in a different year and tells different stories from Wakanda over the years. That would be cool. But yeah, in general, we have no clue what the show is about or who it focuses on or whatnot. So I'll check it out. Obviously, everything anything Marvel we pretty much watch anyways. But yeah, I have no clue what's going on there. Last piece of news though before we kind of jump into. We have 2 more pieces of news. Okay, so Marvel Studios, DC, Lionsgate, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Sony, and Legendary will all be skipping panels at Comic-Con this year. This is huge because
this is fucking
what the hell is there going to be to show?
Exactly, there's nothing.
Right. There's always for Marvel at least and like Lucasfilm and shit, it don't really matter because there's always D23 or Star Wars Celebration throughout, at some point there's normally something like that. But the fact that all of these film companies are not showing up for a Comic-Con is huge because like we just said, what is there going to be? That's the fun of Comic-Con is seeing what news we get out of Comic-Con every year, whether it's casting or movie announcement from Marvel or from something from DC or Lionsgate or any of these, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's huge that none of them are showing up here. So it looks like Comic-Con might be a dud this year.
I'd say all the major film companies are just like, you know what? We're skipping this year. We're taking a break. We're going to have a little bit of a summer vacation. Just let's be.
So yeah, this year's Comic-Con looks like it might be a dud. Because, yeah, doesn't look like we're getting any news.
DudCon.
Yeah. So yeah, if you were excited for Comic-Con this year, limit your expectations because it doesn't look like we're getting any news, at least from the major companies pertaining to movies and shows and stuff. But okay, so last piece of news though, this is more of a personal note on the podcast.
What it is? You know what it is?
What?
Rockstar's going to be dropping GTA 6 information at this Comic-Con, and nobody else wants to try to compete with that. Right. In terms of like popularity,
there it is.
Because they know they won't.
Rockstar
make it.
coming in with a third trailer and pre-order info soon, and that's why nobody wants to compete. That's what it is. Totally.
Yeah.
We'll let Rockstar last piece of news before we jump into kind of an Ironheart review real quick. Last piece of news is more personal. I talked about it a couple episodes ago. I started like a TikTok for nostalgia called Back to the 2000s, where I just kind of still post photos and videos of shows and movies and toys and da-da-da from the 2000s, from our childhood. And we did a nostalgia episode a couple weeks ago. So I was just kind of, thinking and whatnot. And so I said, why I really enjoyed that episode of the podcast. I really enjoy what I do on TikTok. So why do I not utilize both of this? So basically, OTS Project or OTS Project, whatever you want to say, and the WNRN have a new podcast. So I'm going to be starting my own kind of podcast. It's probably just going to be me solo most of the time, but there are going to be episodes where I bring on Theo to talk about probably like the prequels and things like that. I've already talked to like Aaron Nova about doing some stuff for Power Rangers. Wyatt might come on, but you'll probably be the main go-to kind of co-host to do certain episodes. But it's primarily probably just going to be me kind of on my own. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I already filmed the first episode earlier today. I filmed the first episode. I just have to edit it and whatnot. I'll be posting clips on TikTok like I post for us on the OTS Project show. I'll do that on that TikTok for that podcast. So yeah, stay tuned if that's something that interests you. If you're watching right now and you want to kind of get involved in that, follow Back to the 2000s on TikTok, but it's A instead of an E in the. And yeah, so yeah, I just thought it was fun. I'm super excited. Like I said, I recorded the first episode. I had fun with it. The first episode I did because I kind of want to go year by year with certain things. So my first episode is movies in 2000. So I broke down like kind of all the movies I know about in 2000, and so I broke it down by movies I've seen, movies I haven't seen, and then I went and did the top 5 like highest grossing movies in 2000, and then like the box office flops of 2000. And it's not a long episode either. It was like 25 minutes, so it's an easy digest. It's different. It's a different kind of format than what this is. So yeah, check that out if that interests you. So yeah, our Ironheart though, we got the finale of Ironheart, 6 episodes. They dropped 3 episodes last week, 3 episodes this week. Theo has caught up. I watched last week and this week. I'm assuming you just watched it all this week.
I watched it all this week, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, we're not going to go like episode by episode just because it kind of all... It's easier to go episode by episode when there's 1 episode each week or 2 episodes each week, but when we have everything done here and we have all the episodes, we'll just talk about it, the show as a whole. I enjoyed the show. Kind of like you said, it was not like mind-blowing or anything that I'm going to sit down and like watch 1,000 times. Like, I've seen WandaVision like 1,000,000 times at this point. That shit is like peak Marvel TV at this point.
Right.
Loki as well. That's probably the best Marvel show. I've watched Moon Knight a couple times. Sure. I don't see myself really watching Ironheart. Maybe at some point I will, but I don't really see myself rewatching it that often, at least. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the character of Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever. I thought she was a fun, interesting character. I have her in my little Marvel Legends collection over there. I have a figure of her from Wakanda Forever, so I obviously liked her enough to get a figure of her. So yeah, in general, the show coming into it, I wasn't like super excited, but I was somewhat excited because I did already like the character. And yeah, the show in general was just cool. It was fine. It wasn't anything too crazy. The other characters that were introduced, I didn't like her friends and stuff like that. I didn't really connect too much with. Like Natalie is like probably the on the good side at least is probably like the second biggest character. I didn't really like connect with her that much, but I understood the heaviness that is surrounded with that, with her being dead and then somehow coming back to life as an AI. So yeah, I definitely like the villains more. Alden Ehrenreich as Ezekiel Stane, I definitely enjoyed. But my biggest character, who I probably liked out of everybody here, is no surprise, was probably Parker Robbins, the Hood. Anthony Ramos playing that character. I thought he was the best character in the show. But I did really enjoy Riri, so like maybe they're kind of even. But I really, really enjoyed his character. I thought his motives made sense. I thought it was pretty badass that he kind of like took no prisoners while still in a way kind of taking care of his people. Like he still was kind of chill with his crew, but at the same time it was like, but if you cross us, I'll exile you from this crew and kill you with no remorse. We obviously see that happen to Eric Andre's character pretty fast. That was a surprise. I didn't even realize Eric Andre was in the show. I don't think anybody did, so that was a cool little surprise, even if he was only in like one episode. He popped up and
I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Yeah. definitely cool to see him pop up. But yeah, I liked Alden Ehrenreich as Zeke. I liked the twist, even though I think we even reported this on the podcast in the news that it was rumored that he was playing what the fuck is his name?
Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah Stane. I almost said Jebediah Stane. That's crazy. Obadiah Stane. Yeah. Obadiah Stane's son. I think we even said it on the podcast that he was rumored to be that character. So when he showed up and he was like, I'm Joe. I was like, you're not Joe. You're not Joe. So the twist didn't really shock me because I kind of already knew about it, but it was still really cool to see. But I really liked the way they did it, where they kind of said, oh, Riri thought, the public knows he died in a plane crash, and then Zeke says, my dad didn't die in a plane crash. My dad died trying to kill Iron Man, and I've tried to do everything I can to not be him. I really like the way they did that, and you kind of see, he wants to not be him, but in a way, towards the end of the show, he kind of does become him. And they left his thing open ended. He's still alive. She broke him out of like his little thing, right? So like.
Yeah, she broke him out of his little trance.
He's back to himself. He's
still kind of like pissed at her.
But right. He said he's not done with her. So we'll see. Maybe a season 2 or something like that. So in a way, he did kind of become his dad and whatnot. But in general, I did really enjoy the character. and I think he's a good actor. Obviously, we know him probably most from Solo. He was Han Solo,
Right.
And he got a lot of hate. There was all those rumors when that show was coming out that he had to like on set in between takes go to acting classes, which I don't think was true. There's a lot of hate towards him, and he killed it in Solo. He did it almost spot on Harrison Ford impression. Honestly, like he did it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Harrison Ford impression, but he did a good Han Solo kind of impression while still making it his own. And then he was in Oppenheimer. I think he played RDJ's character's like lawyer or whatever. He was in Oppenheimer, and he was great in that. So everything I've seen him in, he's been great. So when he was cast originally, I was like, oh hell yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what. Oh, I really enjoyed. I forgot her character, but the girl that kind of helps her with the magic stuff. I know she's a character from. Yeah, she's a character from the comics.
I loved Zelma. She was so cool.
She was a great character. She's from the comics, and I looked into her comic, like her story. She's a part of Doctor Strange's like academy, and so
I figured so. Yeah.
So, and they kind of tease that once you watch the whole show, you kind of figure it out. But I really enjoyed like their conversations and whatnot. And they talked about Doctor Strange. They talked about Dormammu, which was really cool. Like they essentially explained the whole first Doctor Strange movie about Dormammu and Caecilius and all that. So I was like, I already know this, but I love like the lore dump within the universe. I loved it. I thought that was great. Yeah. Is there anything other than the thing? We'll talk about that. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
We'll talk about the thing. We'll talk. No, I mean I kind of am on a similar board with you. I think Zeke was probably another one of my favorite characters. I mean, Alden Ehrenreich. I want to see him more in anything. Just Alden Ehrenreich.
Right.
Because I think he's an incredible actor. But I think where I kind of disagree with you is like, in terms of like the side characters, I really like the side characters, like her best friend, her mother, her stepbrother, and everything like that. I loved all the connections that she had with all those people. I also like the connection she had with all the people in like that gang. Slug also is probably another one of my favorite characters because I'm just like, she's fucking awesome. She's so cool and shit. But I don't know. I didn't really dislike any character really per se. I think they were all kind of had their own great personality and great connection to Riri. I'll save my last opinion for when we do go into the thing. But like I did like the show a lot.
Yeah,
I think they did a great job with it.
And I didn't dislike really any of the characters either. It's just like, I don't know, some of those side characters I just didn't really connect with in general, but I didn't dislike them. But Zelma, I forgot her name, but she was another one that I really enjoyed. And I mean, it's probably because I'm a Doctor Strange guy. He's one of my favorites. I just love the magical side of
the magic
Marvel.
Shit's so cool.
Right. So her being involved in hopefully showing up in a Doctor Strange movie, or if there's some sort of Strange Academy show, that would be really cool. We could talk about the post-credit scene real quick. Post-credit scene, Parker Robbins walks into that store and talks to Zelma and says, I need, some big magic or whatever. I for sure thought Parker Robbins was dead. And again, we'll get into that in a second. I thought he was going to be dead. But I was happy to see that he's not dead because, again, he was my favorite character in the whole show. So seeing that he's, still here is really cool. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what that's setting up. Maybe they both go find Kamar-Taj and they kind of both become a part of Doctor Strange's Academy or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where he goes off to more than anybody else, I feel like, in the show, because it's very open-ended.
Right. And so, yeah, The Thing. We'll talk about The Thing. Finally. Years. And honestly,
not Fantastic Four. Not Fantastic Four thing. The other thing.
No. Not this guy. Not this guy.
Not that guy.
By the way, y'all like my new Fantastic Four shirt? I got it at Walmart. I figured the movie, it is based off the movie because that's clearly like, you can't really see it, but that's clearly like Pedro. Yeah. That's Pedro Pascal. So yeah, I grabbed this because I was like, well, there we go. I have something to wear to the movie. Yeah. So The Thing. Shout out to Eric Voss from New Rockstars because this man has been, he's been calling it and calling it and calling it since WandaVision. This man has made so many videos talking about how he's coming and how he's going to be in everything and he never is. So shout out to Eric Voss because he finally got his due. Mephisto has finally arrived in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like we said, Eric Voss kind of started this whole thing with New Rockstars because he was the first person that really was making WandaVision breakdowns and thought everything was leading up to Mephisto. So since 2020 and us watching those New Rockstar breakdowns is when all of this Mephisto hype started, and he hasn't shown up, and he hasn't shown up, and he hasn't shown up. But finally, he's here, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, great actor. I'm glad. I think we talked about it on the podcast at some point that it was rumored that he was going to be the guy to play Mephisto. I'm glad he was. He killed it. Every scene he was in, I thought it was great. It was great. yeah, Mephisto's here. Great scenes. He shows up with Parker, and he's talking to Parker and whatnot. I love the duality of him. When you first meet him, he's like this nice American dude, and then as you slowly talk to him, his like accent comes out, his British accent comes out, and like he's more kind of disheveled and stuff. Like he's all put together when we first see him, and then you see him in like the elevator, and he's just like button-up shirt is unbuttoned, his hair is like all fucked up. But yeah, he's the devil, man. So definitely interesting. Parker made the wrong deal, man. He made the deal with the devil that he should not have made, and it kind of cost him. That's why I thought he was gonna be dead, because once he lost the hood and he said it hurts, I thought either A, Mephisto's magic was going to just consume him, or B, I thought Mephisto was just going to come back and just kill him in general, because he's a loose end. But he did not. He let him be, I guess. Or at least for now, he let him be.
Right.
So, yeah. And then as Riri is leaving that building, she sees somebody enjoying a nice meal in the restaurant area. Enjoying a nice pizza, and then, obviously, it's Mephisto again, and he's sitting there talking. And I really enjoyed how they did this scene. It was a very long scene. It took like 15 minutes in itself, like just to get to the end of the scene, because they kept cutting between and going to different characters and stuff. Yeah, but essentially he's trying to persuade Riri to make the deal with the devil. She's not doing it, and she does actually do it. I was surprised by that. I thought it was gonna be the simple hero of she's tempted, but she says no, I'm not doing it. I'll figure this out. But she does make the deal with the devil. And they show her, in her like apartment or whatever, and seeing Natalie, and she thinks Natalie's the AI, and then it finds out that's not the AI. It is just Natalie. She has been resurrected. So clearly that was Mephisto's. That was what she wanted. But now we gotta wait and see what Mephisto wanted from Ironheart here.
Right. What did that cost? Magic has a cost. That's what they were saying the entire fucking show.
And the deal with the devil as well is gonna, it doesn't ever go well.
It's the worst kind of cost.
Right. It's literally the worst deal you could ever make. So we're gonna have to see where that goes again. Hopefully in maybe a season 2, or in another show or something like that. We'll see what happens with Riri. And we do see the kind of like the black kind of veiny stuff is already on her when she like hugs Natalie. I believe it was like on her hand or on her arm. So it's already there. It's already taking over like it was doing to Parker. So yeah, and then in that scene, probably the most interesting thing in that scene, he's having a cup of tea, eh? He's mixing up a little cup of tea, and they have at first I did not catch it. I had to see it later on X. They had a weird close-up shot of him pulling the spoon out and kind of tapping it on the cup and putting it down, and I thought, that's kind of weird. Why the hell did they just like zoom in on the cup? Then I saw an X in the reflection of the spoon. You can see his true form. You can see Sacha Baron Cohen just looking like a devil. It's not very easy to see because it is on a small spoon.
It's small and it's blurry and stuff like that.
But you can still get the point that you can get the point. Imagine Sacha Baron Cohen as a red devil, and that's it. So that was very interesting. Right. I was like, okay, even though obviously we knew it was Mephisto, it was still really cool to get a glimpse of his true form. That again, whenever he shows up again, I'm sure we'll see in full. So yeah, that was the biggest thing. There's Mephisto's finally here, makes a deal with Riri. And we got to see what she has to give in return to get Natalie back. I'm intrigued to see where he shows up again and see. I've seen a lot of people saying now that he's officially here, maybe we're on the road to getting the oh shit, what the hell? I'm forgetting the name of the group, but the group of Moon Knight and Ghost Rider and was it Midnight Suns? That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I've
Midnight Suns,
seen a lot of people say maybe we can finally get a Midnight Suns show or movie with Mephisto as the main character, which if we get a movie with Oscar Isaac and Sacha Baron Cohen and all that like that,
Nick
that would
Cage.
be right. That would be fire. Or whoever. I've seen people say rumored for years that they would love to see Ryan Gosling be Ghost Rider. So I'm like, that would be cool.
That's a funny pick.
After Barbie, it is, but before Barbie, it's not too unbelievable, and it's still not unbelievable.
Right.
But after seeing him as Ken, it's definitely a little funny. But yeah. So yeah, anything else you want to add here?
This is kind of my first, or at least biggest, like interaction with like Mephisto in like terms of like viewing and stuff like that. Because I mean, I've read comics and stuff like that, but it's mostly just Fantastic Four in terms of like Marvel. So he doesn't really like show up ever in that kind of thing. But I really like this character here. I really like the performance that he gave. for the character. I think he did an incredible job. I'm excited to see where they go with that. In terms of Riri's decision to agree to that deal, I don't know if I fuck with it, because it kind of just seems like it kind of almost regresses her like character progression throughout the show and whatnot. Because I feel like the AI of Natalie is supposed to be representative of like to help Riri move on and stuff like that, almost in a way. And this just kind of goes back on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I entirely agree with that in terms of like a writing perspective, but that's just my personal opinion. 'Cause I still think it's a great like scene and all that. I think it's definitely very like emotional finding out that her best friend is back alive and not an AI anymore.
Right.
But I mean, we'll just have to see really where it leads to and stuff like that, especially with what Mephisto gets out of it, like we said earlier. But yeah, 100%. I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, great show, fun show. Hopefully they get a season 2. I know I did see there was, people were review bombing it, and I think I said last week people were review bombing it before it even dropped, and like Rotten Tomatoes had to like reset it. But I have seen an overwhelmingly large amount of positivity actually towards the show, which I did not think I was going to see. So I'm very happy about that.
I saw Marvel had posted something about the show. I think it was like the new episodes dropping this week, and I went into the comments stuff like that. I'm like, let's see what shit they gotta say, and I just kept swiping. I was like, okay, I'm not seeing a negative thing at all over here. I might actually have to start watching the show.
I want to add something though before we end this. They did post the poster that said the finale. This poster that said the finale was here. I don't know if you saw it, right?
I didn't see this.
So, if you look, to me, Alden Ehrenreich's character, or Zeke, he looks like Marcus from Detroit Become Human. He does not look like himself, right? So I commented, Ironheart versus Marcus from Detroit Become Human. 7,494 people have liked my comment with 27 replies. So clearly I was not the only one that saw this.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you so you can actually like look at it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was a funny little thing before I watched the finale.
One final note before we do move on to our topic. Shout out to Keith David, who is getting his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Very well deserved.
Yes, sir. Next year for sure. I posted that on our Twitter with our photo. I don't know if you all can kind of see it, but way back there is a photo of us with Keith David on my wall behind my lightsaber. It's that little bluish photo.
You can also
see
it on X.
Right. It's also on
photo.
The Out the Shadows Twitter there, if you want to see that. We met him because obviously Dr. Facilier is great, but for me personally, he played Julius in Saints Row 2, so that's the biggest thing. So I wanted to meet him. So yeah, we did meet him. Great dude. He was very nice. We did a little Q&A. I did ask him in the Q&A what he thought about coming back to play himself in Saints Row 4 instead of playing Julius, and his response was classic. He said, well, I'm an actor that needed a job, so I took a job, so I didn't think anything of it. So yeah, we got to...
It was almost like Mr. Krabs in a way, where he would just be like, money!
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, congrats to him. He's getting a star. And there's a couple other people that I saw, because they announced the whole list, so I don't know the whole list, but I saw Timothée Chalamet is getting one, which is wild, because he is very young.
Crazy.
Most of these stars are for, legendary older actors and whatnot, or musicians and things like that. So,
Sir, that's the Lisa Nalgaïv
you're
talking about. He definitely deserves a star.
It is the Muad'Dib as well.
The Muad'Dib.
So that was interesting to see. He's probably one of the youngest people to get like a star on the Fame, but good for him. I saw Sarah Michelle Gellar, who is Buffy, but she was also in Star Wars Rebels. She played the female Inquisitor. She's getting a Walk of Fame star. Married to Freddie Prinze Jr. Very cool. So good for her. So again, I don't know the whole list, but seems like a pretty cool list. But of course, especially friend of the pod. We're just gonna say now, Keith David,
friend of the pod.
Oh, I will add too. I posted the same photo on our Instagram, and I tagged him, and he liked it. He liked it on Instagram. So shout out again, Keith David,
because he's a friend of the pod.
Our good friend of the pod, Mr. Keith David.
Good friend Keith David. Secret third member of the OTS podcast,
yes.
Keith David.
Yes. So yeah, congrats to them. But all right, song of the week before we move into our actual topic. Song of the week.
Snap.
I have mine.
I have it here.
Mine.
You go first.
So last week that I said mine was Invisible by Duran Duran?
Yes.
So, and I have not played the Metal Gear Solid games, but I have fallen down this fucking loophole because I searched for it on TikTok. So now the algorithm has made it to where every other TikTok is some Metal Gear Solid thing. And I still really don't fully understand the story of Metal Gear Solid. But I went from last week having a song that is the unofficial like theme song of Metal Gear Solid to an actual theme song for a Metal Gear Solid game. So my song of the week.
Can I guess it?
Go ahead.
Is it Snake Eater?
It is Snake Eater by Cynthia Harrell.
Yes!
Dude, my God.
I love it.
So obviously I'm assuming it's not the whole theme song. It's just like the theme song for Snake Eater, for the Snake Eater game.
Right.
I saw it in one edit, looked it up, listened to the whole song, and I was like, this song is a banger. It is a great song.
It is without a doubt one of the top 5 greatest video game theme songs of all time. 100%.
Probably the only theme song that is a banger that has the words Tree Frog in it. Never heard a song that says Tree Frog. Right. So that's my song of the week is Snake Eater by Cynthia Harrell.
Dude, I'm so fucking happy for you. That's
I also saw
song.
TikToks of her like performing it live at like conventions and stuff. And like she's definitely like older now. But I love how, and obviously she has never played these games. She just took a job, right? A Keith David situation. She just needed a job. She took a job. But I will say she has fully adapted this as like this song being this theme song for this game. I've seen her performing with like the bandana on and like a holster around her leg. Like incredible. So shout out to her for just fully committing to the idea that this is a Metal Gear Solid song, even for a woman who's probably in like her 70s or 80s now. So, yeah.
That's awesome. My song, I have a very similar situation also too, because last week I said "One Last Time" by Ariana Grande, and I have another Ariana Grande song that I just recently found that I'm gonna.
Can I guess it? Can I guess it? Can I guess it? Can I guess it? Is it? Is
you
it?
can guess it. I don't care.
Is it "Defying Gravity"?
It is not "Defying Gravity."
Is it the Sam and Cat theme song?
It is not the Sam and Cat.
I don't even know if she sings the theme song, to be honest with you.
I don't even know what the theme song is.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
Okay, it is going to be fucking that "The Boy Is Mine" from her Eternal Sunshine album that she released last year that I completely skipped over. I have finally given it a listen through, and I was really fucking with that song. It is fucking bop.
I'm not a big fan of that song. I will be honest with you. I like Ariana Grande. I think I'm not a big fan of the song because of what it means. Like it, and I could be. I do not know Ariana Grande. I'm just like, this is full parasocial kind of explanation here. But that song came out around the same time that all the stuff happened with her and fucking Bach and the ex-wife. And so her dropping a song about how she stole somebody's husband while she legitimately apparently stole somebody's husband, I was like, I don't think I'm fucking with this one, bro. So I'm not a fan of that
That's
song.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But
I didn't know about that, though. So
yeah. And now you with this song.
and now it's shit. I'm going to change my answer to the Sam and Cat theme song.
The Defying Gravity. Oh, man. All right. So moving into our actual topic
40 minutes into the episode.
We had a ton of news, and I kind of forgot we had an Iron Man review or Ironheart review to kind of give there. So I thought, we are slowly creeping up to the new Superman movie that's dropping. It is literally dropping next week. We don't have tickets, but we have our date set for Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So we will be there, and we will have our at a theater review, and then the following podcast, or we'll have our bonus episode with a full actual review next week. But I thought for our review this month, even though last week was the actual review, I figured let's stay on brand and let's do Man of Steel. I chose Man of Steel because honestly, it's probably the Superman movie that I know the most. Like, I've seen the other Superman movies, like the originals and the 2006 one, but like I don't know. I've only seen all those like once, whereas Man of Steel I've seen a couple times. As a kid, though, I will say the 2006 Superman is probably like more nostalgic to me and more my childhood, just because I was a kid. But I've only seen it like once or twice. So yeah, that's why I chose Man of Steel. So we both watched it this past week, and we're gonna give our review. So I really just have a bunch of shit written down here. Like I have, as I was just going through the movie, I just have like random notes.
That's
so we're
the
not,
exact same thing that I did, yeah.
Right, so we're not giving like full scene by scene breakdown here of the movie. It's just like things that I thought of. So my first thought, though, is just about the movie as a whole. I do enjoy the dark kind of feel and vibe to this movie, even if it isn't really Superman-esque. Superman is very hopeful, very bright. You can literally see it in the everything that has to do with the new movie. It's very bright and hopeful and colorful and blue and red, and this movie is not that. This movie is very gray. But I kind of like it. I know some people will hate it, but to me, I've said it before with other stuff, this is just a version of a character. This is not the ultimate version of this character. This is just somebody's idea of what the character could be. So you could not like it, but nobody's saying that this is the end-all, be-all of Superman. So the fact that we have other Superman movies before this, we have a Superman movie about to come out, I like the feel of this because it is different than everything else that has to do with Superman.
I do agree with you that it definitely does have a different feel from the other Superman movies, but I kind of don't like it because of that factor. I didn't really like the darkness. To me, it's almost like a Twilight situation in where Twilight is all blue. I just felt like for the most part this movie was very just darkened.
Yeah.
It's like they turned the brightness down by 10% for the whole movie, and I'm like, that kind of kills it for me there a little bit.
I mean, even his suit is very dark. Like the
it's
blue
so dark.
is
it's like
very blue,
navy
like dark
blue and almost maroon-ish with less of the purple. It's just dark red, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. It's a great design. I just think coloring-wise, I think they could have brightened it up a little bit more.
Right. Do you like the? This goes a little off topic. Do you like the this suit? Because he only has, I believe, 2 suits. This suit, and then in Justice League he has the black suit. Do you like the black suit more, or do you like this suit more?
I think for this design, the Man of Steel design, I think I do like the black more. I think it just looks a bit cleaner, and it fits kind of the whole vibe that this universe gives off of the.
Just realized I literally have a figure of the black suit of Henry Cavill Superman there, so I like the black suit more.
It fits the darkness of the whole universe and just the story that it's telling, because it is a darker story, a darker Superman. So I think the black fits a little bit more than the red and blue. But again, I don't like how the red and blue look in this universe because of just how dark it is and how dark everything is.
Right.
But
I'll just kind of go through my list, and then we'll go through kind of your list of notes. The whole beginning of this movie, I completely forgot. I legitimately, and I've seen this movie at least 2 times. I saw this movie in theaters. I remember my mom is a big Superman. I mean, my mom's not a huge superhero person, but she does like them. She's a big Superman and Spider-Man fan. That's her 2 favorites. So when this movie was coming out, me, my mom, my dad, and Grace, we all 4 of us literally went and saw this movie opening week of Man of Steel. So I do remember seeing this movie in theaters, and I think I've watched it once or twice at home, and then this time. But the whole beginning of the movie, I forgot. I remember, of course, them sending him to Earth, obviously, because that's the most crucial Superman thing ever. But everything else, with what the hell's his dad's name? Crazy ass name. Jor-El. Him getting in a ship and flying and dodging shit. Do not remember that at all. I don't remember any of that. So, yeah. But I will say, I believe it's his mom. His mom says, "Make a better world than ours, Cal." When it's blowing up, that should hit me right in the feels, bro. Mm-hmm. As the planet is literally blowing up, she's trying to tell her son, make their planet better than ours was.
That send-off scene was one of the scenes in this movie where I was they got this right, one for one with a legitimate Superman origin story. I thought they did very well with it. I also very much so liked just Jor-El's character throughout the entire movie. I kind of felt he was almost like a Force ghost, pretty much, in how he was trying to mentor Superman through everything. But I really fucked with his character a lot. I fucked with all the parents a lot.
I want to say something
just
that I forgot to put in here, and I told Logan when we were watching it. I had this realization, and I told him, "Oh no, I really don't even want to bring this up on the podcast because Jack is just gonna flame my ass." I do not know how this slipped my mind. But for years, I have seen all these Superman movies. I've consumed Superman in general, right? I did not realize that Kal-El, I did not realize that L is the fucking last name. I did not realize that.
What? How the fuck?
Probably.
What the fuck?
Probably because I'm just not a big Superman fan. But when they were saying Jor-El, is when it clicked to me that I'm like, that's their last name. I thought like Kal-El was just his first name. I don't know, bro. It is so crazy. And like me and Logan were laughing about that for a good minute because I was like, how the hell does that slip my mind?
Awful.
Yeah. Totally didn't realize like
terrible.
L is their last name until I realized they were saying Jor-El. And I was like, wow, I totally for years didn't realize that L was the last name. Like I didn't realize I thought his name was Kal-El. I didn't realize his name is Cal. You know what I'm saying?
Kal-El Johnson.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah. When he gets to Earth though, kind of a jump forward to when he's a kid, the fat kid that starts off as his bully and then kind of becomes his friend throughout, and he shows back up throughout the whole movie. That shit was hilarious. That shit was hilarious. Yeah, he literally was in the IHOP to where me and Logan literally went, that's the guy. So that was pretty cool.
Kid.
Yeah, but Logan made a funny ass kind of thing where he was like bullying him. That scene on the bus, and he goes, "In what world is this fat fuck bullying this kid?" And I died laughing. I was dying, bro, dying.
That's funny.
My next note, I just love how the logo of Superman is just on everything, like everything that he has, like everything. And maybe I'm wrong again. Maybe this is just that's probably like just the Kryptonian symbol or whatever. But I just love the fact that like everything on Krypton has like this Superman S on it. It just made me laugh.
Well, it's not everything on. Well, because it's like the symbol of like the L family,
right?
Like that's like his like symbol and everything like that. Because like Zod has his own symbol. There are other Kryptonian families that have their own symbols and stuff like that. But you do bring up a good point because it's like the front of the pod that he comes in is just
that's what made me think about it.
S.
Right,
and it's so fucking weird looking.
So
it's
good,
it's
bro.
all I don't even, it's like bulbous almost just on the front of the pod.
It is like a Superman
like with
dick.
the little like chip thing that he plugs into like the ship and everything like that makes sense to me.
Right.
But on the pod is crazy.
Right. I'm shocked too that little like thing that he plugs in. Maybe they did, but if they didn't make like branded USBs like that, missed opportunity. If they did not make a giant black USB stick with the Superman logo on the end. Because that's like it literally was a USB stick that he was plugging in, bro. So yeah.
I hate with that little plug-in, like every single time they go to plug this thing in, they have to plug the whole thing in, but they never do it the first time. They always just stick it in like halfway.
Right.
And then some problem happens, and it's like, you think you would learn by now to just plug the whole thing in first to go.
The first flight I loved. I thought the first flight was great where he was out. I don't even know where he was, but he was he was on Hoth or whatever the fuck, and he was just kind of like flying around and shit. I really enjoyed that part. I thought it was really great. The music I thought was really incredible. The dad's death, it's a meme at this point. It is so unnecessary. The dad's death. The dad's death has to happen and whatnot, right? It's the way they did it, obviously, where he just goes and then disappears.
I think what gets me about it is that it's like typically how like how Jonathan Kent dies is like usually it's like a heart attack or something like that. That's how it was in like the original movie. That's how they've done it in like the comics and stuff like that.
Right.
And it kind of gives him or Clark Superman this lesson of just like, there are just like some times where you cannot save the person because it's just like out of your like reach and stuff like that. With this, it's like
it is fully in his reach.
He's just choosing not to because his dad is telling him no.
Right.
So it's just like a weirder way to teach that lesson.
And I was also like, granted, if you're getting picked up in a fucking tornado, either way, you're probably dead no matter what. But I was like, but he would have had more of a better chance, in my opinion, if he would have stayed in the car, where he was at least covered by the rest of the car from getting hit by something or whatever that would have killed him. I was like, he probably would have had a better chance if he would have just stayed in the car and got down. Again, probably would have died anyways, but at least try and save yourself in some way by protecting yourself or something. He literally just like, bring it. Like, he literally just like, bring death. I don't care. He must have hated his wife or something, bro, because he was way too happy to go.
Also, he must have been... This man, I don't know if I fully agree with this decision. I can understand why some people would do it, but like... I feel like somebody should have stopped him from trying to save the dog of all things,
right,
and risk his life in the process of doing that.
Right. I mean, hey, we love dogs, but
we love dogs, but at some point, it's like you are a human And your life, I think, does value more than that of a dog in this situation, especially when you are a father and a husband.
Right.
I think you can let the dog go, man.
The
for your own safety.
ultimate breadwinner in the family as well, and shit. So
yes, exactly. Yes, he's the farmer.
Right. My next kind of thing. I don't remember. There was a certain shot that made me type this, but I don't remember exactly what it was. But I put cinematography was top notch in this movie. Zack Snyder's cinematography is his best thing in my opinion. His story. No offense to Zack Snyder or Snyder fans. His stories are not that great. His stories could be better. But his cinematography cooks. He should have been a cinematographer more than a director because his cinematography in his movies, top notch. It is such good shit. Again, I don't remember the exact scene, but just in general, like I said, Zack Snyder is a really good.
Was it the fight scene with like him versus Zod at the end of it? Because that's kind of where I was thinking that sort of similar thing.
No, I don't think so. Because where I have it placed here, because I was going through the movie, so where I have it placed here is probably in between the dad's death and when the IHOP kind of shows up. So I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I will say IHOP.
Where the IHOP shows?
Well, because my next note just says IHOP.
The IHOP is the benchmark of the movie.
My next note does just say IHOP because I just thought it was funny, that whole scene, and how it was it was his friend that was like working in the IHOP. But I will add here, there is a wild amount of product placement in this movie. They show the IHOP.
Sears.
There's a fucking Sears. Logan said to me, not even this movie could save Sears from bankruptcy, and I laughed my ass off.
That's true.
There's some others that I'm blanking on, but there's a couple other like stores I believe that are shown in this movie. Which that was my next note was product placement. Daily Planet crew lacks personality. That was my next note.
Yes,
there is absolutely no personality in these people.
Fucking lootly. And it's like it comes to like the end of that movie, and they're like about to die because the machine is just tearing apart the city and everything like that.
Right.
And they're like facing death, and
you don't care about any of this.
Why would I care?
Right.
I don't care. Like Perry's the only one in this situation that we've actually seen before this scene.
Right.
And maybe even still, I don't really care that.
Maybe
much.
my thoughts on this too are because I've seen all the promotion for the new movie, and like the Jimmy has everything I've seen from Jimmy is incredible. I haven't seen much of Beck Bennett's character, but it's Beck Bennett, so I know that his character is going to be great.
I've seen like one or two things of him like behind the scenes.
So that's probably why, because I'm actively seeing like TV spots with these characters, and they already have 1,000 times more personality than any of these Daily Planet people have in Man of Steel, which is very, very sad. Because also like this is supposed to be outside of his family. The Daily Planet crew is like his human side. Like this is where his like human vibe comes from. So when like they're just like kind of actual like kind of insufferable people, because the one dude who Beck Bennett is playing in the movie, but I'm forgetting the character's name, but he's in the movie. He's just a total asshole, which again I think that's just his character, but it seems like in the new movie it's gonna be like a playful asshole. Like he's an asshole, but then something happens that makes you laugh because he spills his coffee.
Right.
This guy was just a fucking asshole, bro. Like he was just a dick. So I was like, I don't care about this guy. I love. Some people do not love this. This is one of the things I love about, really more so Henry Cavill's Superman is his emotion. When specifically in this movie, what I write for this scene is made me do it is when he has to kill Zod. And then he lets out this like kind of scream and kind of like a cry. Some people hate that because they think Superman is supposed to be the ultimate kind of, da-da-da. I actually love this because it shows that even though he's an alien, he's still human. That he didn't want to do this. He didn't see any other way out of this. So he had to do this. And you see how it actually emotionally affected him. So I actually love that they gave this Superman like a lot of kind of emotion.
I think it's more so a byproduct of the universe that he's written and the story that's being written, because it makes sense for how Superman is supposed to act in this Snyder universe, even though I kind of am on the side of I don't agree with it, just because it does go against like the like traditional like image of Superman and whatnot. But again, this isn't like your go-to Superman story. This is like, again, like you said, like a rendition of Superman through someone else's image and stuff like that. So it fits the universe, it fits the character. I do understand why he does it. I do understand that human side of him does come out, and that's also kind of why I'm very much so upset that there isn't like that they saved him going to the Daily Planet for the very last scene of the movie. It's like that's such an integral part of Superman's story and his character, and they just completely avoid that throughout the entire movie. And I think that's a bit of like a drop off for me.
Yes. My next note, probably one of the funniest parts of the whole movie for me. Are you effing stupid? And Slash, I don't know, sir. He's kind of hot. Both of those lines had me dying. I thought that shit was hilarious. My last part here, though, goes into what you were saying. My least favorite thing probably about this whole movie is the absence of kryptonite and the absence of the Daily Planet. Because it's there, but it's not there. Because Clark is not there until literally the last scene of the movie. And kryptonite, unless I'm wrong, there is absolutely no kryptonite in this movie at all. I did not see a speck of green at all.
Really, no.
So those two things are so that to me, having no kryptonite is almost like having Superman with no suit.
I can almost.
Which I guess
understand
also, now that I'm thinking about it,
kryptonite
I'm
not
kind of
being
an
there.
asshole because I love Smallville and like he does not have a suit for like all of Smallville. But that show just cooks in general, so I'm willing to let it be. Because it has other things. But yeah, the kryptonite thing, I don't know. I don't get it. That thunder is going crazy.
I can understand there not being like kryptonite and stuff like that, just because it's like the villain of the movie and all of his lackeys are also Kryptonians, which would also be affected by this radiated Kryptonian rock. So I can understand why.
I
it's
get
not
it, but
used in this
I don't
movie.
know. I still
If
think
it was like Lex Luthor, that's a done deal. That's
Right.
a done. There
Of
has
course.
to be kryptonite involved for sure.
right. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I just feel like there should have been maybe even a mention to it or something. But it's literally just completely gone from the movie. And then yeah, the whole Daily Planet thing I also don't like. Like the fact that literally I know it's crazy. They are saving this
Is
stuff.
Thor outside your window? What the
I
fuck
think
is
so.
going on?
I think he's mad that we're not talking about Ironheart more or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Thor. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
the fact that Clark is literally not at the Daily Planet until literally like the last scene is also, I'm just like, that is so stupid. And then there's no payoff because even in Batman vs Superman, he's also barely at the Daily Planet. I feel like he's in the Daily Planet for like maybe 4 or 5 scenes total, and even those scenes are not great scenes. So there is no payoff in this universe to Clark finally be. And then Clark dies in Batman vs Superman, and then Justice League.
Yeah.
I think they show Lois at the Daily Planet once. So like. The Daily Planet in this universe
Daily
is
Planet
just
just
like
gets hoed.
trash. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all my notes. I do have a ton of Man of Steel facts, but I'll save that for the end. I'll let you talk about your notes, and then we'll go into the facts of the movie.
Okay. I have a shit ton of notes, but I'm gonna kind of just go to the key ones here because a lot of these are just like, why the fuck is this thing? Why the fuck?
Right.
Why are there dinosaurs on Krypton? What's
And
going on?
You are, for the viewers, you are a bigger Superman fan than I am, so you probably
I
have
am.
more to
I
dissect.
read a lot of the comics. I've also seen a lot of the movies. I'm watching right now Superman Lewis, which I'm enjoying a lot.
I want to watch that. I actually, as we were picking Man of Steel, I told Logan, "Oh yeah, that's a show that I've been meaning to watch."
It's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying.
I
it a lot.
also-
I want to watch that. Through.
I need to watch Smallville through first, though. I'm like on season 3 of Smallville, so I need to watch that first, and then I'll watch Superman and Lois.
I also want to watch My Adventures with Superman, which is kind of like that anime almost.
Yeah.
That they also got on Max of Superman. I think that looks. Pretty
Isn't that
cool
with
as well, but I'll get to that.
Jack Quaid as Superman?
Yes, that's
Yes.
Jack Quaid. My first big note here is during like the scene where they shoot Kal-El off into space and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Zod kills Jor-El, and in my mind, that accomplishes nothing.
Yeah.
Because he's already content with dying anyways, because he knows his planet is going to explode.
Right.
So really killing him accomplishes nothing,
Right.
if I'm going to be
I
honest.
mean, in reality, shouldn't you actually take him prisoner so that you could find out where the fuck his son is going?
Right, exactly. Like, he's the only person that knows where this kid is going.
Right.
And you killed your only lead, and now you're just screwed.
Right.
Let's see here. What else do I got? There was a funny thing that I wrote down here. When they're driving on the bus, like the school bus that like crashes into like the bridge and the river, before that scene happens, it's the scene of the fucking bus just driving down the road. There is not a bridge forever. It is just flat, dry land throughout, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to them crashing into the river. I'm like, where the fuck did this river and bridge
That's great.
even come from? I really like the scene where the guy at the bar is like bullying him almost, and then he just throws his truck into a fucking power line. I thought that was fucking funny.
Yeah.
I wrote down here, made a grilled cheese. It was good. I made a grilled cheese halfway through the movie.
Nice.
And it was also very good.
We,
I want everybody to know that.
My grandmother made us chili, so I had another bowl of chili in the middle of the movie. So I'm with you.
There you go. There you go. I don't understand how Lois Lane is kind of surviving in the middle of the night in the Arctic. Because the guy says, like, before that, it gets to, like, below 40 degrees. Or, like, 40 degrees below zero. So how she's walking around out there in negative 40-degree Fahrenheit weather is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that just should give you frostbite in, like, 10 minutes. Let's see. The flying scene, I also really liked. The one that you brought up earlier. I thought that was actually a really good scene. I liked that one a lot. I did also write down notes about the tornado scene, but we talked about that earlier. I liked both the Kent parents. I feel like they had a lot of great moments in this movie, which I think they should, because they're very integral parts to Superman's story. The sound of the TV that, like, screeches when Zod is starting his message creeped me the fuck out. I was like, this is almost horror levels of kind of fucking screeching through the TV.
There was another thing. As the fight is beginning, the final fight, I looked to Logan and I go, you know, Bruce Wayne is watching this right now. And he literally went, oh, shit, yeah, I forgot about that. But I do like that in the subsequent movie. I do like that is a connected thing of why he hates Superman is because he was actively helping people during that fight.
Right, yeah. I think that was a very good plot point for them to write in there for that movie. That's another one we should just watch in general at some point. I think that'd be a fun one to review.
We should.
I doubt I'm going to say this correctly, but Faora, the female Kryptonian.
Yeah.
I thought she may have been my favorite character in that whole movie. I'm going to be 100% honest. She was fucking badass. I'm like, put her in Dune, in the Dune universe, and just watch her go fucking crazy, bro.
She's the new Lisa Al Gaib.
She will might fucking mop the sand with the Lisa Al Gaib, bro. I swear to God.
Yeah.
There's another funny part where he opened, like, Superman and Lois are on that ship in space.
That was Lewis.
And Lois.
There you go.
She gets, like, shot off in the escape pod and stuff like that, and Jor-El is telling Superman to, hey, you should probably go help her out. And he's like, I will. And then he just slowly, like, Christ poses and drifts off of the ship. I'm like, she's hurtling towards Earth.
Yes.
You can have a little more urgency to helping this woman out
bro.
here.
He had to aura farm. Real quick.
He had to aura farm.
He had to pull a Jeff Hardy. He had to hit his pose before he got there. I also wrote down, not the IHOP, because they fucking tore that IHOP to the goddamn ground, and I thought that was also pretty funny. Me and Logan were also just debating, like, do you think before they destroyed this, do you think, like, since they were friends, do you think, like, that Clark at, like, 2 a.m. would just go, like, hang out with his friend and eat, like, a stack of, like, New York cheesecake pancakes at IHOP? and me and Logan were like, yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, definitely. He kept his friend company on those overnight shifts, you know?
Right, exactly. Zod getting super used to the all the hearing shit, like all the sounds coming in his ears and whatnot. Him getting used to that on the second attempt is a bit wild for me.
Yeah.
Because it should take it took like Superman like a very long time, like weeks pretty much, to kind of get like a sense of that.
Yeah.
And Zod's getting it down in like an hour, and I'm like, okay, sure, why not? What the fuck? The fucking Kryptonian technology. I hated how it looked. I hated all, like, the sandiness of it. The fucking, like, tentacles that the ships have and whatnot. I'm like, this isn't Kryptonian. This is Brainiac's shit.
Right.
This is all Brainiac stuff.
Actually, that makes a good point.
Kryptonians using it.
The Brainiac thing is a good point.
I'm like,
he got the wrong character.
It feels like they wanted Brainiac for this, but they couldn't, like, find a way to do it correctly. So just fucking throw in Zod.
I think I accidentally I skipped over one of my notes here. I do not care for Zod or his crew at all. They mean nothing to me.
No,
they mean absolutely nothing to me.
I like Faora. I think she's dope, but like she's just like a cool warrior type character. I
Also,
think Zod in this movie looks so stupid.
Yes. That actor, I forgot his name, Michael or something like that. I don't think I care for that actor because I just don't take him seriously or scary as a villain at all.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's
he's
the
not
fucking
very
stupid
threatening.
haircut.
He's not very good as a villain.
It's the stupid
the
haircut and the
it's
beard.
Absolutely the haircut.
The, like
It's the
goatee.
It's the super bulky armor too.
Yeah.
It's like
Everything about
you think if
that
you
character sucks. And
everything
I
about
thought it also sucked
the design
in
is
The Flash.
terrible.
When he came back in The Flash, it also sucked. So.
Yeah, that also. It's like,
And that
I thought
movie
it was cool
sucks.
'cause they brought
But
John
he was
back,
like,
but
that movie
does
sucks. But that was a big part of why it sucked, was because he also just sucks.
I don't think Zod being there is a big reason why it sucked. I think there were a lot of big reasons why that sucked. It definitely was.
That's
not
another
small,
one we're going to have to
so I will
review
give you
just for the fuck of it.
that. Oh God.
We got to review it just for the meme. Just for the bit.
That sounds fucking terrible. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
I love the fucking fight scene and like the chase scene that they have through Metropolis.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very cool and it's almost reminiscent to me of almost like how the like fight scenes and chase scenes in the Raimi Spider-Man movies looked. Because I think it's almost a bit nostalgic of that. But I also don't really like either of the fight scenes because Superman is very actively throwing people through buildings and stuff like that, whether it's like Smallville or Metropolis.
Right.
And I'm like, it doesn't really seem like something he would do to just throw these super powered people that are on the same power level as him into buildings filled with other people. I feel like it should have been more of a case to where he kind of like tries to bring the fight outside of Smallville into like the farms and whatnot, or maybe outside of Metropolis into whatever the fuck is outside of Metropolis. I'm just kind of imagining like upstate New York.
Or if you
some
want
shit
like
that.
maybe if they wanted the kind of terror and like the buildings falling and stuff, it should have been a thing of like he should have been outnumbered. So it's like when he's fighting Zod, you have another Kryptonian that's doing things that he can't stop in time because he's dealing with, you know what I'm saying? That's what they should, instead of
That's
him willingly doing the shit.
That's kind of what they do in Superman 2, because it's like Zod and his few Kryptonians, they roll up to Metropolis and stuff like that.
They roll up.
While they do, they roll up. They land on Earth and they're like, where's our other Kryptonian? Oh, they're in Metropolis? Okay, let's go over there. And so they land in Metropolis and they're like, hey, we're going to fight you, Superman. And while Superman is fighting one of them, the others are kind of like tearing shit up around the place and stuff like that.
Right.
In an attempt to kind of take down Superman, pretty much.
I am praying with
this
this storm. I'm praying my power does not just cut out. So
that would suck.
Yeah.
That would absolutely fucking suck. Let's see here. Oh, the fucking what is it? Which scene is it? The drone scene. That scene you were talking about with like the general and the one chick like having that back and forth banter about Superman after he knocks the drone out of the sky. Mm-hmm. That scene is so weirdly placed.
Yeah, it is.
Because of the message it tries to convey of like it's a great scene, don't get me wrong, but I just think like it's so weird how it's like they're having this argument about like how you should stop trying to spy on me and stuff like that. I feel like that works a lot better in the middle of the movie rather than at the very end.
After he's won.
Because I feel like after he's won and they've like built a trust there with Superman.
Right.
It seems weird there to put that scene right there before like the graveyard and the Daily Planet and stuff like that. Mm. But I think that's the rest of my notes. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I feel like every time I watch this movie,
it goes down.
It goes down. Okay. I love Superman more and more. I watch more Superman stuff. I read more Superman stuff. Yeah. I understand the character more. I understand like the universe more. And this just is like very almost opposite of that.
Right.
So
yeah, I will say
it kind of goes down and down for me.
This was my favorite Superman movie, but I'm fully ready for this new Superman movie to become my new favorite Superman movie. Even though I haven't seen it, I can just feel the vibe. It probably will be. But at the moment, it's no longer my favorite Superman movie. I'm gonna have to give the 2006 Superman that just because I have more connection with that. But I also need to rewatch that one because it's been like years. Yeah, I will say I had like this was like a 4-star on Letterboxd thing that has now gone to like 3.5 for me. It definitely went down. There were also parts of this movie where I was just kind of bored. I was just kind of like, all right, moving on. So
I saw the duration and I was like, what do you mean this movie is like almost 3 hours long? What is happening? I don't remember.
At some points I feel it because I'm just like I just would like kind of touch my phone because I'm like nah.
Right, exactly. I'm
all right.
bored.
So I do have a good amount of Man of Steel facts about this movie. So,
all right,
in production and whatnot. So originally, this one I thought was kind of wild. Originally, Ben Affleck was originally offered the spot of director, not Superman. I thought you were going to say, you think it's Superman?
You said Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck. Whatever. He was originally offered the director spot for this movie before Zack Snyder. But he turned it down and then eventually ended up becoming Batman. But he was the original idea for the director. I got a spider here. Hold on. Got to get the spider killer out.
You know, I said 5 out of 10, but I'm giving this thing 2 stars on Letterboxd.
Okay.
I'm rounding down.
Natalie Portman, Charlotte Riley, Anne Hathaway, Diana Agron, Kristen Stewart, Malin Ackerman, Rachel McAdams, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Kristen Bell, Lake Bell, Olivia Wilde, Mila Kunis, and Jessica Biel were all considered to play Lois Lane before Amy Adams.
Oh, that was another note that I didn't or maybe I skipped over. I did not like how Lois Lane was portrayed in this movie.
She is portrayed way better in the other movies, in my opinion.
Absolutely. In the movies and the other shows, I feel like she's done way better.
I was just talking about Amy Adams
in this movie.
Amy Adams' version, I think, is better in like Batman vs Superman and in Justice League than in this movie.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still do kind of agree with you, but whether it's the other fucking Zack Snyder movies or other Superman movies, I feel like Lois Lane has done better. I feel like this is... It does not very much so seem like Lois Lane to me. I was not very happy with how they did this character here.
Yeah.
They definitely could have done it better.
Yeah. Hey. All right.
That's why I dropped it down to a 4, because they ruined Lois Lane.
There you go. Staying on the Amy Adams Lois Lane here, though. This was Amy Adams' third time auditioning for Lois Lane. She first read for Lois Lane in Brett Ratner's abandoned Superman film. Then she auditioned for Lois Lane in Superman Returns. Adams has stated that it became ridiculous, and this time she had to play Lois and put her stamp on it when she auditioned for Man of Steel. That is kind of wild. She tried 3 times for 3 different movies to be Lois Lane. And I got 2 more. Matthew Good, Armie Hammer, Matt Bomer, Joe Manganiello, Zac Efron, and Colin O'Donoghue were on the final shortlist for the lead role of Superman. Henry Cavill was finally cast. He was a front runner to play Superman in another Superman movie, which I think was the... He was the front runner to play Superman in another Superman movie, but the movie failed to be greenlit, and Brandon Routh was cast in Superman Returns instead. So there was the Brett Ratner's version of Superman that was then abandoned, that then turned into Superman Returns. He auditioned for that, but then it ended up going to Brandon Routh. Cavill was also runner-up for Daniel Craig in the James Bond Casino Royale movies, and he was also a runner-up for Christian Bale's Batman. So he auditioned to be James Bond and Batman and Superman, and then eventually got to become Superman in another movie. So that's pretty wild.
He said, I'm going to be one of these. I'm going to be one of the big
Right. Henry Cavill is also the first non-American actor to play Superman, because I believe he is Canadian. He's not American. So he's the first non-American Superman actor. And my last note, Henry Cavill refused to take steroids to muscle up for the role of Superman. He also refused any digital touch-ups or enhancements to his body in the shirtless scenes. He said it would have been dishonest of him to use trickery while playing Superman, and he wanted to push his body to the limits to develop his physique into one that was worthy of the character of Superman, which I think is a very honorable
awesome.
And on-character thing for Clark Kent.
Yes,
for sure.
For sure.
So good on him. So that's kind of all the Superman. There's way more that you can do, but those are the ones I found the most interesting. Half of Hollywood, I mean, it's not surprising. Half of Hollywood auditioned to be Lois Lane. Half of Hollywood auditioned to be Superman. But some of the names are just interesting. Like, if we, instead of got Amy Adams, what if Natalie Portman would have been Lois Lane? You know what I'm saying? Or what if Zac Efron? That was probably the biggest one for me. What if Zac Efron
crazy.
was the Man of Steel here in the Snyderverse instead of Henry Cavill? It's definitely interesting. So yeah, anything else do you want to add to our Man of Steel review here before we wrap up?
Not much. I'm very excited to see the new movie next week. I mean, I've been excited to see it for pretty much ever since it got announced and stuff like that, so I'm very excited to see it. I do have my original Superman movie shirt on.
Nice.
I would like to watch that with you as well as Superman 2, because I think those two are actually really, really good.
Yeah, I need to dive back
and we could watch those at some point.
I think I've only seen them like once.
Also, maybe those would be cool to see. I think the 2006 one. I haven't seen the 2006 one, so that's another one we could definitely watch for sure at some point.
Yeah, I definitely
But,
have seen the 2006 one, but it was definitely as a kid. Like, I've seen all those as a kid, But I just remember the 2006 one because I just remember like the merchandise and the toys and the tie-ins to fucking 7-Eleven Slurpees and shit like that. But I do know that the the Superman Returns, that is supposed to be a continuation from the original Superman movies. Like Brandon Routh Superman is supposed to be the original Superman. So that is interesting. So yeah, that's kind of it. We appreciate y'all watching. Next week is what? Next week we are doing...
is it Top 5 DC?
It is Top 5 DC characters. Yep, that's right.
Hey, I was right.
So we're going to have that. Again, obviously, Superman 2025 is dropping next week. We already have it set. We will be there Thursday opening night, or preview night, really. Opening night is Friday. We'll be there preview night, technically, to see the movie. We will give our quick out-of-theater review like we did for Thunderbolts and Captain America. And then we will have a bonus episode next week that is going to be our complete review for the Superman movie, as well as our top 5, which will be our episode 27, I believe. So yeah, big thanks for the podcast, as well as, again, the brand new Back to the 2000s podcast that is going to be dropping probably in the next week for episode 1. And again, tomorrow, Theo and his sister are supposed to come over to continue our Star Wars watch along. So on my channel, the Back to the 2000s TikTok, and this channel, we have a lot of content that's going to be going up in the coming weeks. Superhero stuff, 2000 stuff, Star Wars stuff for sure. So yeah, you can follow us at OTS Bridger, at OTS Bebop, at OTS Project. I think on Twitter it's Out the Shadows. Again, Back to the 2000s with an A instead of an E in the. And shout out the WNRN, of course, as always, for being our incredible podcast host. I forgot to mention that today, once I'm literally done uploading, editing, doing everything to these 2 podcasts, I have a show. I'm going to be at Brawl USA. It's a little too late to promote it because by the time you're watching it, it'll be over with. But still, a shout out to them, Brawl USA, running a show for the 4th of July at, it's called Leadfoot City, I believe, in Brooksville. It's about like 30 minutes away from me, so I'm going to be at that later today. So yeah, we will see y'all next week for our Superman review and our top 5 DC characters.
Hell yeah.